Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Herefordshire Means Business at Networking Online. We are here again. Glad to see some new faces and some more familiar faces, shall we call it. Good to see we're all here and still working hard. Just to say a bit about me, my name is Rich. I'm one of the directors, organisers of Herefordshire Means Business events when we're allowed to do things like that in normality. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get back there soon, and sooner rather than later. And with me, I did have Richard, but he's had to rush off into the darkness. But I've also got Kerry. Give us a wave, Kerry, from the HMBiz team. If you're not on our database to find out about our events and things, then put a note in the chat and we'll make sure you're on our database. If you've got any questions for Adam, I don't know whether you'll want to be disturbed when he's mid-flow, put a Q or your question in the Q&A in the chat box, and I'm sure he'll get to them as soon as. And also, if you're new to the group, then if you want to share a bit about yourselves in the chat box as well, then do that, or link to your LinkedIn if you want to join on LinkedIn, then please do that. Hopefully after Adam's done his talky bit, there may be a bit of time at the end for a bit of sharing. So if anyone's got anything they're desperate to share, then hopefully we'll get some time at the end. We do like to finish on time. I know we didn't start on time, but we do like to finish on time because we know that everyone's still got busy days of other Zoom meetings, I'm sure. So that's enough about me. I will hand over to Adam. Adam is a regular with us at our events when they're in reality, keeps us up to shape from the Sales Academy. And hopefully today he's back for the second time on our Zoom meetings. So we're really pleased that he was able to join us today. And I'll hand straight over to you, Adam.
Thanks, Rich. Thank you very much. So just to time check that, and we talking 2 p.m?
Yes. That's the firm end.
Yeah, what day are we finishing?
Today, please.
Sure. Okay, cool. Just so I know. So can I ask everyone that isn't just to turn on to mute for the moment, because I can hear clinging and pipping and popping around. So if we could just pop onto mute, there will be times I'm going to ask you to come off mute. I'm just going to shut my Outlook down at the minute because that seems to be piping away as well in the background. So I want to be focused on you guys and not distracted. So let's get some of this switched off. And can I ask you as well, just to give me a raise of hands, really, two questions. One, are you okay if I do this unfiltered? Just not minding my P's and Q's, and we kind of just say it as it is, because I'm a country boy and I just like to get down and real with you, if that's all right. So I'd like to get down and dirty as a Gloucestershire born boy. So brilliant. And secondly, are we prepared to play all out for this exercise? Because I want to get you guys doing some work. So can I just make sure that your arms are working for one? So if you can just pop your hand up, all of you, brilliant, and then we know we are fab. So one of the things as a business coach and as a performance coach, whatever you want to call me, but I've been working with people to get results for years. And one of the things that I find we do a lot is we set goals and we set ideas and dreams and we kind of work plans and stuff. I did a podcast recently about there's no such thing as smart goals. Goals should be scary and terrifying and big, hairy and audacious. But the plan that you use to back up that goal, that should be smart. But there's no such thing as smart goals, right? So everything always leans toward the doing side of goals. Today, I want to talk to you about the being side of goals. So I want to challenge you to do some work with me today on who you are and who you need to become. So if I look at basic Isaac Newton's kind of laws of motions, when he talks about pressure being applied for something to move from point A to point B, if you take a rock and you move it from point A to point B, if you apply pressure, it will move in a linear motion from one point to another. Human beings do the same thing by thinking and acting the same way. So we tend to find if we set a goal, we want to get from here to here, what we tend to do is think if we just do more stuff, we'll end up getting there. And that's great, but it's hard work. And I want to get you into kind of smart work mode. So I'm a big believer in you becoming a bigger person. So setting the goals that you need to be challenging yourself on, but who do you need to become to achieve those kind of goals? All right. So we're going to do this in 3 very simple exercises. And when we do the exercises, I'm going to challenge you guys to get brutally honest, because the only person you're lying to when you're doing this is yourself. All right. So I'm going to ask you to get brutally honest when you're doing it. At times I will be asking you to feed some stuff back in for those of you that are comfortable feeding it back in, but I'm going to get you to do some work. So I don't have any think music today, unfortunately, but I'd like you to use a couple of minutes silence to just work on those individual bits, then come back together. And we may use the power of breakout rooms to then just review the bits that we've worked on before we come back in to do the next stage. And we're going to do this in a very short space of time. The basis of that is it's a start of a 10 today. Was it Magnus Magnuson you say that? Who are the older guys in the room that remember that? Thank you, Stuart, for nodding away, right? This is a start of a 10. So I'm not expecting you to do this perfect 100%. In fact, I don't even believe in perfection. I think it's paralysis. So I just want you to go for the 7 out of 10 with this. Give it your best shot, play all out, and see what you can do with me in terms of 45 minutes of just getting into our psyche a little bit about understanding, tuning into our superpower, which is us, to become more so that we can achieve more. Is that cool? Alrighty. So, Bamba Gascoigne, thank you. Bamba Gascoigne, Robin. All right. So, the first thing I'd like you to do, guys, is with a fresh sheet of paper, I'd like you to write at the top of that sheet of paper, my commitment to me. My commitment to me. I think goals have got power, but commitments, oh man, we sign that shit with blood. Right? We put some effort into it. I'm talking commitments to yourself, not just goals or dreams or wannabes. I'm like, come on, guys, step up in your life and make that commitment that you want these things. All right. So right next to my commitment to me, I'd like you to draw a bracket, because we're going to have an open bracket and a closed bracket in a bit. But I'm going to give you the life formula that kind of underpins all of this. And the life formula is B, as in BE, B multiplied by do equals have. It's a simple life formula of be, do, have. Who do we need to be? What do we need to do to have what we need to have? Now, some of you need to go to the have first to figure that out. And then you go to the do, and we may not necessarily work on the be, but it's a combination of. You're an individual, so how you approach this is up to you. I'm just going to give you a steer in the next 45 minutes so you can start to utilize this. And my gift to each and every one of you attending it is, if you want to come and talk to me one-to-one, I'm not going to invoice you. You want to come and talk to me one-to-one and have a conversation with me about this to help you put this on steroids and make it a bit more real and tangible, then I'll give you a link at the end where you can book a diag with me for free, and I'll just invest some time with you. Because that's my gift as a thank you for coming to spend a bit of time with me today and allowing me on this platform. All right. So can't say further than that. So my commitment to me. Then underneath that, what I'd like you to do on the piece of paper, and let's take up the whole piece of paper with this. So spreading down the paper, I'd like you to write a number 1, a number 2, and a number 3. Giving yourself space at the top of the paper for the my commitment to me, because you're going to need a few lines to write that commitment. And then you're going to have a 1, a 2, and a 3 going down the page. So has anyone ever read a book called Grit by Angela Duckworth? It's a fantastic book. I highly recommend it if you haven't. It comes off the back of Growth Mindset, Carol Dweck's Growth Mindset. And it's Angela Duckworth takes a study further of how are people successful? How do they get to the top 1% in their field, whether it be medical, education, sports, military, whatever it might be. And it isn't how good looking you are, unfortunately, or fortunately. It isn't the money or the background or the stock that you come from. It's your grit and determination to pull through when things get a little bit tough. And it's the ability to keep pulling through. And there's psychological studies that are backing all of this up. So you need to read the book to understand it more. We haven't got time to go into it. But she talks about one thing that really stood out to me. The whole book is brilliant, but this one thing really stood out to me when it comes to goal setting, which is most people set a goal at the top. And then they start working towards that goal and they get a little bit distracted, or they come up against obstacles and stuff, and they get a little bit disheartened. So they stop heading towards that target, that goal. Whereas what we tend to do when we start getting better at goal setting is we have an overriding objective, which is my commitment to me, my overriding objective. And then what I need underneath that is probably 3 supporting goals that I know are going to help me achieve my overriding objective. This is breaking this goal down now into a bit more granular. And when you start working on those 3 individual goals, as you take this exercise away from today, you'll probably start figuring out that actually each one of those 3 might have 5 supporting goals to enable you to achieve those. And when you come up against these obstacles or these challenges, it's those smaller granular ones that need to shift, not the overriding objective. Does that make sense? Right. And if you're coming up against obstacles, celebrate that shit, because it's evidence that you're moving forward. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's tough. Yes, it can be a little bit disheartening. And every now and again, we want to pull the duvet up and go screw the world, right? Especially in today's climate. But the cream rises to the top. And there's no one coming over the hill to save any of us. So if we want to do this as entrepreneurial, self-fulfilling, self-disciplined people, we kind of need to step up in our own lives to do it. But as I said, doing more is exhausting. So it's a combination of doing and being. I went through a massive process in 2019 where I pulled a lot of pins on grenades in my life and business. I took my sales academy business from 6 coaches down to 3 coaches. I sacked off my business partner. I made changes in my business and in my private life that were tough. But once I started making those decisions, it was like, do you know what, Ad? Even if you fall in shit, you're going to come up smelling the roses. It's what you always do because you work hard at stuff. And you start to work smart at stuff. So stop being so fearful and just make some of those changes. And then, as I like to make change, because I'm a little bit of a maverick, I created a bit of chaos because I want to create a dust cloud that basically creates so much dust. The nuclear explosion creates so much dust that when the dust settles, it can't settle back where it did before. Okay. So part of that process was letting go of who I was. A big part of that process was letting go of my habits and my disciplines and the kind of behaviors, the things that I was doing and the person I was being, which is creating a lot of the results in my life. But I was so heavily focused on the do that I was missing the be. So what I'd like you to do now, guys, is invest 5 minutes. I'd like you to write down your commitment to you for 2021. Now you can do this exercise again and again. You can have as many commitments as you want, all right? But don't go crazy with it because you're going to end up in a room with a coat that does up at the back. But your commitment to you this year, overriding, what do you want to achieve in the next 12 months? Now, this is personal to you. This is your aspirations, your goals, your commitment. And then once you've put in your objective, your overriding objective, your commitment to you down, what I'd like you to do is think about 3 supporting goals that are going to help you achieve that one. And I'm just going to give you a couple of minutes of silence to work through that. What is your overriding objective, your commitment to you for this year? And then 3 supporting goals. 3 supporting elements are going to help you achieve it. Okay. Minute left. I need a countdown sound clock. So for those of you that have already done this, what I'd like you to do is put your name in print underneath. Then I'd like you to sign it. And then I'd like you to date it, please. preferably in blood. Now, there is a psychological process that we go through when we write stuff down, where there's emotional connection to the quill. We haven't quite got to that in terms of the swipe or the type, but we have to the quill. So when we write, there's a process in therapy that I teach people, which is about how to reflective write. If anyone does any journaling, they'll understand the power of this stuff. So when we write things down, they become more emotionally real. When we say them out loud, they become more emotionally real. So I would ask you to share your goals with other people. Now, I'm not going to ask you to share them in this room right now because we're getting to know each other. All right. But I would certainly ask you to share and challenge your goals with each other when you're ready to, when you feel comfortable to, and with people that you know around you. Get them photocopied, take some photos of it, have it on your phone, have it as your screen saver if you want to, get it visible, get it visual, get it in your psyche so it's there all the time. Stick it up on the fridge, laminate it if you want, and put it in the shower and read it to yourself in the morning. I don't know what fuels you up, but find a way to make this part of your living life. Okay, coolio. So exercise 2. Now this is where I need you to get a new sheet of paper, guys. And ideally, if you've got a couple of color pens, this is where this really comes in handy. So while you're scrapping around for some pen and paper, I am going to ask you, there's a gentleman by the name of Tony Buzan, B-U-Z-A-N. Anyone ever heard of him? Put your hands up if you have. Cool. So Tony Buzan did a number of things. He wrote a brilliant book years and years ago. One of his first books was called Use Your Head. Everyone in school at the age of 14 should be reading that book because it teaches you speed reading. It teaches you recall techniques, memory techniques. But Tony Buzan designed mind mapping, or was what was called brainstorming back in the days, but it became an offensive term. So it's now been relabeled as mind mapping. So quick show of hands, who does mind maps or who's ever done a mind map before? A few of you. Brilliant. Love you. Actually, most of you. Great. So we're going to do one now. So what I'd like you to do on that page, if you're an A4, turn it on the side. If you're an A5, turn it on the side. Is that landscape? I can never remember the two. Yeah, cool. Lovely. Thank you for nodding, guys. So in the middle of that page, I'd like you to draw a cloud, just like a squiggly line that in the middle of that page, not too big, not too small. And I'd like you to write this question in that cloud, please. Who do I need to become to achieve my commitments? Who do I need to become to achieve my commitments? So that's the question in the middle of that bubble. Who do I need to become? Now, if you've experienced doing a mind map before, you know what I'm going to talk about next, which is basically using the different color pens, but go around with one color pen first and just allow yourself to free think for a few minutes and just branch off. Okay, well, who do I need to become? So start to branch off. Okay, well, in terms of my time management, my carving up my time as a parent and as a business owner, well, do I need to become enthusiastic about accounts and marketing and shit that I don't like? Who do I need to become to achieve that commitment that you wrote down for yourself a few moments ago? Allow yourself to just splinter off. Just go around the wheel once. And as you go around that wheel, then get a different color pen and start looking at the branches off that wheel, the spokes off that wheel, and maybe see if you can put some meat on those bones. When you wrote down that, what did you mean by that? Go a little bit deeper for me, for you. And then if you can go around a third time with a different color pen, go even deeper on the bits you've gone deeper on. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to do this exercise now. Now it's interesting at this point because some people will be going, this is ace. Oh my God, stuff is flooding out of my head. And other people are going, this guy's freaking weird. What's this shit? Why would he make me do this? I am a man. I make and break things. Just give it a go, guys. What have we got to lose? Think about some of the habits and disciplines. Think about some of your routines. What are the things that you're doing and being that are serving you? What are the things that are doing and being that aren't serving you? Is there a stop, start, continue exercise here? Are there things you need to stop doing, start doing, and continue doing? Okay, just while you guys are finishing some of that, Rich, would we be able to do 7 breakout rooms of 3? If we can get that set up ready to go, it should be a couple of clicks.
To make you host and you can do it yourself. Is that easier?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, if you can do that'd be fab.
I just thought that might be.
Oh my God, you're gifting me control.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I don't know if I'm ready for that level of responsibility in my life. It's like proper grown-up stuff. Okay, so how are we finding this? We got some data down, we got some stuff on the paper. Alrighty, so what we're going to do now, I don't expect it to be completed. Remember, stage 1, we're looking at 7 out of 10 by the end of this session, not the full completed thing. But I want you, and I'm going to challenge you to kind of take this away further. I've already put my link into the one-to-ones in the comments box, and a couple of you guys have shared some notes in sharing a little bit about who you are. And I encourage you to do that as well, because this is a networking as well as an educational event. So make sure you pop your details in so that other people can connect with you, and make sure you save the chat before you leave. The 3 dots down at the bottom in the chat box. So we're going to create a breakout room for 3 of you per room. And what I'm going to ask you is, we're going to have a breakout room for 6 minutes, which is effectively, for the mathematicians in the room, 2 minutes each. And then I'm going to give you notification and kind of bring you back to the main room. So what I'd like you to do is just share openly with the guys what you found, what you feel, how that exercise was in terms of doing that mind map around who you need to be. So I'm going to send you into your breakout rooms now. You're going to have 6 minutes in total, and then you're coming back into the big room. So please try not to monopolize too much time, because you need 2 minutes each to give everybody a fair chance. Is that cool? Brilliant. The way when we vocalize this stuff, it becomes more real. So I'll see you in a few minutes, guys. I'm going to be in one of the rooms, and I'm going to jump about to a couple of the others as well. See you in a sec. Richard Lowe, you need to click yes, please, to go to a room. Where is he? Cool. Okay, so they're all in their rooms. I'm talking to the camera. It's still recording. So the whole point of this is, as I said earlier, we need to kind of siphon our brilliance out of our head. So we need to siphon our feelings, our emotions, and our power behind what we do, which is who we are. right? Our beliefs, our values, our identities, what we feel about stuff, our emotional connections and triggers to things. So by doing this exercise, what it does is it takes what is kind of a cold, logical, sometimes physical thing, which is a goal, can be intangible, can be illogical, but in the main, they feel more they feel more kind of rusty and iron and metal and kind of, so we're taking that and we're putting a bit of emotion into it by using the being element of us. So who do we need to be to achieve that? Okay, when we start, if we're going to get deep with this stuff, what am I doing that's sabotaging myself? What am I doing that's getting in my way? How am I behaving? How have I made those phone calls that I need to make? How am I sending an email and hiding behind it saying, I think I've done enough? So what are my actions? And therefore, who am I being to create the right kind of actions? Who do I need to change into? What do I need to become to get better? Not character assassination, not completely tearing us down, but who do we need to become to be better than we were yesterday, better than last month, better than the quarter before? So I'm doing this purely for the recording purposes, and hopefully it's still visible. Cool. Join breakout room.
Whoops.
Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Jacqueline. I think we lost a couple of people en route. The majority of them will be coming back in. Here we go. The screen's filling up. We may have lost some technical people along the way. Apologies about that.
We're back.
We're back. Good,
Some
good,
of
good.
us. Here they go.
Excellent.
There
So
we go.
before we go back on mute, guys, who would like to share from their room what they kind of learned in that process of just actually writing this mind map out and putting some things down? Who's going to be brave enough to share with us first? Lovely. Fantastic, Carol. Go for it.
Okay. I think the main thing that we learnt is that confidence is a big issue. It was something for all of us, and we were trying to sort of work out why that was and what we can do about it, how we can make ourselves a bit more thick-skinned regarding rejection, that type of thing.
Okay.
And we did discuss the fact that there's probably a business here somewhere for someone who can work on people's confidence, and that it's not always sort of a big thing that comes out of coaching, like the sort of coaching that you do, I guess.
Well, to be fair, yeah, it's why we started what we started, and we called it Sales Academy because it's the one thing that people avoid the most in business. So let's go straight for the jugular, right? But okay, this is a brilliant point. Sharing this recently with I've got a guy who's one of my clients. He's a real expert. Martin knows, a real expert at what he does, and I'm like, mate, you're standing on top of your mountain with all this knowledge and experience, and you're shouting down the mountain going, it's obvious, isn't it? And we're at the bottom going, where the f do we start? And if you look at anything that you've ever started in life, you start as a novice. So where does the confidence come from? The confidence comes from taking that leap of faith, doing it, practicing it, and getting better in it and mastering your craft at it. So if you've never done a Facebook ad, it's going to be clunky and crap. After a period of time, it will get better. But if we accept that we've spent 50 quid on one ad, didn't work, so therefore Facebook doesn't work for business, end of, that's not necessarily the truth. So we build the confidence, I find, through actually motion, through doing it, through learning, through making those mistakes and getting better at it. All right. But I think you're absolutely right, Carol. My confidence in goal setting was awful years ago because they weren't specific. I was just saying to Christian, they weren't specific and they didn't mean anything to me. I was almost going through the process of setting goals and targets because I thought I had to. But when I started writing goals and targets that actually meant something to me, now I'm behind them. And I can be quite formidable in my own life when I want to be. Cool, brilliant. Thank you for sharing that. Who else would like to share?
I just want to say a similar conversation to us actually, Ad.
Fab. Thank you, Martin.
And taking that action. So brilliant. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you, mate. Angela, was it?
Angela, yeah. I think our general opinion was we're doing too much in a day and not really achieving very much. So there's too many open books and we're not coming back to look at what we're supposed to be doing. And I started this year keeping a work diary to see what I'd achieved every day, and to sort of see what I could do, what had I done in those 4 weeks of January. And
Yeah.
all I've done is answer a lot of emails. I've got two other jobs, another job, but I'm tending to find I've got so many things going all in one go that I'm not really dedicating to things that I should be doing to make myself be known a little bit more, even though my charity is quite well known in Herefordshire. But I'm still struggling to, I think we're all still struggling to communicate more as well. And because I like networking, I miss going out, and that's knocking a little bit of my confidence in a way, most probably, into thinking, how do I reach out? And there's too much going on. So it was good to look back in my January diary to see what did I achieve. Not a lot, but that's my focus, is really seeing where my time is wasted. And then think.
Yeah, it's a brilliant point. If you know, the whole thing is we're human beings, not human doings, right? But we, as I said earlier, we focus so much time on the doing. In Gestalt psychotherapy, a German psychotherapy, one of the elements of Gestalt is the whole. It's kind of looking at the whole of the process. And human beings have got so many incompleted circles that it's why we end up needing therapy. So a very simple explanation is, let's just say, Angela, you wake up in the middle of the night with a tingling feeling in your lower part of your body, and it's your body saying, you need to go for a wee, Angela. Right? You're unaware of this at this point, but your body's kind of waking you up. Your brain signals go in, and suddenly it physically gets uncomfortable and it wakes you up. And then your brain registers that feeling and goes, oh, I need to go to the toilet. Right. So when you consciously then make a decision that you're starting to go round this circle of completion to go to the toilet. And on the way to the toilet, you kick over a glass of orange juice you put at the top of the stairs because you thought you'll take that down in the morning, but you didn't want to take it down tonight. So you kick the glass over. Now you've got a glass of orange juice to sort out. But actually, when you did that, it started the dogs barking. The dogs have woke the kids up. Shit. Now you've got to go and calm the dog down, and you've got to put the kids back down, and you've got to wipe the orange juice out. You still need a wee, by the way. Right? There are 4 incomplete circles in that tiny little spectrum right there. So if you think about how many incomplete circles we have going on at any one time, it's no wonder that sometimes we feel overwhelmed. So I'd invite you all to write this statement down. It's a challenging one to own, but I'd encourage you all to write this statement down. And that is, I create or invite all of the overwhelm in my life. I create or invite all of the overwhelm in my life. Now, I can't sit here and go, do you know what? Matt Hancock's going to stand up and say something else knobbish later on at some point, and then it's going to spin us out, because that's going to continue. But how we react to it is ours to control. How we respond to it, if we actually think and go into a little bit deeper, not just reacting, how we respond to it is what matters. So life is 10%, 90% is our response, and that's for us to own. All right. So again, come on the one-to-one, Angela, and this goes for everybody else, right? Book some time with me and I'll happily walk and work some of this stuff through with you. And if we can find out some little nuggets that you can go off and do and make your life easier, then I can sleep a happy man. And if we find out there's some work and some accountability and some support you need, we got programs for that as well. All right. But third exercise. Okay. Now what I'd like you to do on a new sheet of paper. Are you using, hands up if you're using A4 lined paper. A4, no. So look at you creative types, right? with blank paper straight out the printer. I know it. So with a blank paper, I'd like you to write 1 to 34 down the side of the page as you do this exercise. Yes. For the people on A4 sheets, you have 34 lines, including the header. I know that because that was my old focus in sales. I get 35 contact details before I have lunch. And if you're on A5, it's just 2 pages. Now, this is the challenge that we're going to start. If any of you manage to complete this in 5 minutes, I'll be amazed. But I'm going to challenge you to get beyond 7 at least. Okay. So now what I want you to write are as many affirmation statements as you can in the next 5 minutes that are relating to your mind map, that are relating to your commitments that you made at the start. And what I mean by affirmations are I am statements. Every statement has to begin with I am. And then you write down who you are becoming and what you're going to be doing, who you are to achieve those goals. See, if we can trick our mind that we can fail, we can trick our mind that we can succeed. Our brain, our subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. If any of you have ever watched Breaking Bad and Lost Days, you'll know what I mean by that. It just absorbs you, right? So we can train this to think and act differently. So what we do with affirmation statement is things like, I am a great father. I am a brilliant business owner. I am a fantastic salesman. I am excellent at marketing. And even though your little voices in your head will probably go, no, you're not. I want you to write it down, because we'll work on the no, you're nots. I want you to challenge yourself to write powerful, positive affirmation, I am statements about who you are. And if you go, I am going to be, no, that doesn't work. It's the here and now. Own it now. No, I am not taking this any longer. No, that doesn't work. Positive, powerful, empowering, I am statements. 5 minutes, break. Over to you. We've muted Paul because he's been abducted by aliens as we speak. Or he's released the King Cobra from the tank. Okay, hands up if you've got past 7 already. Oh, nice. Oh, you like great students. I love this. Sometimes we get people going, I can't even think of one, right? I'm like, just write one down. And when they do it, the second one's normally, I am writing affirmations. Yeah, there's a good one to start with. If you haven't got that one, add that one on your list. So the first gift has gone in the chat, which is, I've just sent you a Dropbox folder, which has about 4 or 5 documents in there that are supportive documents to help you go a little bit deeper on this stuff. So that's my gift to you guys. You can have those documents, use them as much as you like and stuff. And if you want some support on how to use them, like I say, gift number 2 is book yourself a call with us and I'll walk you through it. And there's the link for the call as well. All right. So I'm looking for 3 volunteers minimum to share with me 3 of their affirmations that they wrote down. Who would like to go first? Ollie looks keen. Shani looks keen. Cool. Go for it. Shani. You need to come off mute. Sorry, if you can unmute your mics.
There we go. Okay, so I have got, I am hardworking, I'm a good mum, and I'm going on holiday this year.
Quality. Can we get a round of applause for those 3? All right. Because this is how it starts. Start convincing ourselves of who we are and who we need to become. Brilliant. Thank you for sharing. Christian, I think you put your hand up as well. If you can come off mute, guys, as you do this.
Okay. I am enough.
Yes.
I am in control of my life. And I am learning it's okay to make mistakes.
I think it was Marilyn Monroe that said she's still to make her best ones yet. And I love that statement. Those are brilliant. I am enough. How many of us don't feel at times enough? How many of us have esteem issues or imposter syndrome kick in at times, you know? I am enough is a big one. Thank you, mate. I am enough. I am valued. I built all of 29 around those 3 affirmations, which is I am enough, I am valued, I am worthy. All of the decisions I made in 2019 kept coming back to those 3 affirmations. All right. These are real powerhouses when you start looking at me. Who would like to go next? Let's do this at pace. All right. Because we might get more than 3. Yeah, go for Angela. We've got Angela, we've got Richard, I think Elaine. Go for it.
Yeah, I'm a good listener, a good wife, and a good teacher for my nephew, school teaching. He said I'm the best, so I take that.
Happy days. In a time right now, we need more of that. Brilliant. Elaine, did you like to get...
Yeah, I put a similar one. I put, I am a human who allows myself to make mistakes and learn from them. And then I put connecting better with other people, other businesses. New, open to learning, and especially Zoom with confidence, learning more about confidence in oneself.
Lush.
So yeah, that sort of line really. So everything's about learning, practicing. The more you practice, the more you'll get better at it, and confidence.
Yeah, 100%. Richard Lowe, your 3?
Yeah, I am grateful, I am healthy, and I'm using the 80-20 rule.
Get in, result. Gratitude, right? The attitude of gratitude. What a brilliant principle to practice. Because the more grateful we are, the more we receive, funnily enough. And I'm not a biblical guy, but I'm certainly a spiritual guy and connected. I don't understand a lot of it, but man, the more I put out, the more comes back.
Yeah.
No one has ever become poor by giving, right? So, and that's not just money. I'm talking like attitude, effort, energy, skills, experience. Who can you give to today? Who can you serve better? How can you serve better? Who do you need to become to be able to do these things? So fab, come off mute, all of you guys. Come off mute for a second, because I'm going to wrap things up before I hand back to Rich, because we're getting close to time. So can I just ask, was that a useful exercise?
Yes.
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 Was it what you expected today?
No.
No.
Good.
Yes.
Did it feel uncomfortable at times?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. We're learning, we're stretching, right? Right.
Learning
Do
to
you
stretch.
feel different now having completed it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. This is a superpower that every human has. It's called the power of you. Right. And if you don't mind me saying it bluntly with the odd trickle of swear word, you guys are fucking ace. Get out of your own way. Dr. Zeus said it brilliant. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. If you have never read the book, Oh, the Places You Will Go, or the poem, as it originally was, Oh, the Places You Will Go by Dr. Zeus, I highly recommend listening. There's a YouTube video of it going through it. I highly recommend you reading that book, but read it as a business owner. All right? Don't just read it as a kiddies book, because I've read it to my children for years. Read it as a business owner. All right? Oh, the Places You Will Go.
I think I spelled that wrong, haven't
I? Adam.
Yes.
Sorry. I've noted the one you said most of all, which has really set with me, is learning to stretch myself. I'm going to make that quite a sort of
A mantra.
So what I make in that connection is more, we'll all make a connection together. So
Yeah.
let's all do that.
Yeah,
Link
love
ourselves
it.
all into each other and do more Zooms with each other. That
Yeah.
gives us practice on Zoom.
Yeah, take this out of this call, out of this networking, use the power of Hereford Means Business to connect with each other and book more one-to-ones. In the Sales Academy family, I've challenged all of the Sales Academy members, to the businesses that work with us, to do one-to-ones with each other. And it's amazing the traction that it's already started to get, because it's not a networking community per se, but they network and do business together all the time. But by putting the challenge in, it's just put a little bit of structure in for people to go, God, yeah, there's loads of people I haven't spoken to yet. I don't really know what they do. How can I help them? How can I serve them? How can they help me? So yeah, the efforts that you make from here today, you know, who do you need to become to be a better networker? Your network is your net worth. I think it was Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, you know, so any other questions before I hand back to Rich? But thank you for trusting me today. I'm extremely grateful for you going with me and just giving me that opportunity to share some stuff with you. And it's a genuine offer with those one-to-ones, guys. Come and book an hour with me, get some one-to-one. Let's not air your laundry in public. Let's have a conversation and see how I can help. All right.
Thank you,
very much
Adam.
indeed.
Thank
you.
Thank you. Thank you, Adam. That's really good.
Thank you, Adam.
Well done, guys. Well done.
Brilliant. Thank you, Adam. Can you just change it back to me as host?
No, I've got control now, mate. I can't really.
Has anyone got anything else they want to just quickly share or say? Or I've got to say, I've had a session with Adam, and he is brilliant. So please do take up the opportunity. Adam knows his stuff, as you all know, but please do take up that opportunity to get a session with Adam. Anyone else got anything to share? Yes, Stuart.
Just following up what Adam was saying about networking, I think it's a great thing to do, but especially in the current climate where we're perhaps all stuck in our own four walls within our homes, we're not getting out to see anyone. Just remember that the networking doesn't need to be business orientated, and it can be just to chew the fat, talk about EastEnders last night, football, whatever, but to make sure that you keep your mental health up by engaging and communicating with other people, just rather than perhaps the wife and the dog. Just make sure that you have a
really good point.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, anyone else want to just say anything? No. Okay. Right, that is the end of the meeting then. Thank you again to Adam for taking the time out to get us all thinking and hopefully get us all in shape for the rest of this year and what comes. I will try and get this recording over to you in an email. It will be on our YouTube channel as well, and I will keep a copy of the chat if you don't manage to do it yourselves, and I'll put that in with the email. We'll be back again in March. Can you believe it? We're going to be into March. We'll be back again the second Wednesday in March, so I hope you can all join us then. Please keep a look on our Facebook channel and on our website for any details of any things that we share, and please join our Facebook group as well, Herefordshire Means Business. Just find it on Facebook and do join the group, and we'll carry on connecting and networking over there. Yes, Adam.
Cool. I'll send you the 2 links, mate, for the Dropbox folder for the documents, so you can send out an email to everyone if that helps.
That's great. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good to see everyone, and we'll see you all again in March. Keep safe.
Yeah. And
Smash it, guys.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.